Okay, sounds like sounds like we got an opportunity to turn down academias. Here we go. We want it to be like the sound behind, when you're in the dentist office. You hear this nice music before you get your head drilled. That's what we do with academias. Oh my God. Anyway, so as you can tell with my little radar thing here, there's a lot of electricity in the sky. And the blue dot, see the blue dot right there? That's where we are. Now, every one of these flashes is a lightning bolt that just went BAM! Sorry. And, blew something up. So these lightning bolts are really important. And this software that I have counts every time there's a lightning bolt. Truthfully. Okay, so there we go. We're watching that, and it's getting active. And we don't have any real strong cells coming over top. We got to really drill down this map before it shows Boca Raton. There it is. And it's coming from the southwest. Move that up that way, and so we can see what's coming soon. There we go. This microphone picks up everything. Okay, so September 19th, Monday. That's what we got. It's 5:22. We are on the air. We're live, broadcasting from our strategic headquarters in a little tiny piece of an apartment that we have in Real Palm Place. But you do what you got to do. So the iPhone 14 has come out, and this is the iPhone 14. I've got the screen brightness turned all the way down so that the super sensitive TV camera can see it. There it is. Look at that. It's in focus. Anyway, so we're watching our weather over there, and we got our iPhone. The cameras are just unbelievable. Let's see. Like any exciting pictures. When you do a print screen. Like here's the iPhone 14 has satellite connectivity. Imagine now the iPhone will be able to communicate with the satellite systems. There's two major systems up there. Elon Musk has, I think, Starlink. He puts up 60 satellites at a time, and he's got like almost 2,000 satellites floating around the Earth. So every time there's a blast off, the sophisticated computers have to watch out for the tracking of these low orbit satellites that can, get connected to actually antennas that are like 18 inches square that you just put up, on your roof. And the satellites will, there may be 30 satellites that can read your antenna and sync with it. Not just one satellite, it could be 20, 30, 40 satellites. At least three, I think. Well, the iPhone, what you can do is with the antenna system that's already built into the iPhone, you wave it around, like this. I don't happen to have. Let's just play. So I'm going to pretend I have it, but I don't. So you would maneuver your iPhone like this, left or right, in the sky, and this would give you a graphic on where to point your phone to get the best connectivity. Because let's say, you're having instead of having a 18-inch square antenna, you've got some little schmucker that's inside the iPhone. So you may have to give it a little help by steering it with your hands so that it can get connected. Now you can't have a lot of conversations or detailed conversations, and you can't share pictures and all that kind of crap. This is almost like an emergency connection because you have no 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, or 5G connectivity. You have no connectivity. You can't get to any of the antennas. Maybe because they're all knocked down with a hurricane. Well, the hurricanes don't knock down the satellites, see? So that'll, if you had an emergency in your house during or after a hurricane, um, or beforehand saying, please get grandma out of the house. We need to, oh boy, we need to get grandma up on the 8th floor condominium because ground level is not good on the beach. So we're nailing up the doors, but we need you to get grandma. See, now you could do that with this because your phone system is out. You don't have any 3G or 4G or 5G service. So you go for the satellite connectivity. And in November, that'll be activated, at least from the Apple standpoint. And the question is, will the satellite providers be available? It's been rumored, and it hasn't been denied. Matter of fact, I think it came from, I think I got it from Elon's private email account. And he says, hold the phone. I am meeting with Apple engineers, and boy, they're a smart bunch of characters. And we're going to see if we can get all our Starlink satellites to be received by an app such as this. So, competition is a marvelous thing. And, Elon Musk has got an awful lot of money invested in all these satellites that he's plopping up there. And they're not all the same. Every time he's sent, not every time, but he's been sending them up for a number of years. And let's say every 6 months, I'm guessing, the satellites get enhanced to do more things, different things. They're better. They have bigger antennas. I'm sure he is going to engineer some of these satellites to have, relatively huge antennas that can, send and receive signals to the iPhones, to small handheld devices, instead of 18-inch square, sheets that pick up signals from a whole bunch of satellites. So this way, you could be out mountain climbing or something or other. Oh my God. Janie just fell off the horse and went down 50 feet into a ravine. We need a helicopter here. Well, see, with one of these, you can do that because you're not going to have any cell antennas way up there in La La Land, wherever you are. So this is going to sell a lot of iPhones, I would think. Satellite connectivity when you're out of carrier signals. Now, so what this is good for is very brief messages like "help." Shit. No, um, like you could send a text message, to somebody, and hopefully they would be able to send a text message back to you through the satellite system. So or at least you can get the message out. I don't know if you can get it in. I don't know enough about it. It may be two-way communication, so I would think it would be. When people are on Starlink, it's two-way. I mean, it's high-speed internet. So this is not high speed. This is slow speed, but it's better than no speed. So this is big. This is big news. None of the you got these people that they're always trying to figure out what's coming up. With the um, what Apple's is coming up with. The satellite thing was a big surprise. None of the guys. I mean, that was a very well guarded secret. iPhone 14 Pro series, not the regular iPhone 14. You got to get the Pro series. So over 30 or 40 hours a month, you don't want to go buy the iPhone for $1,500. AT&T divides $1,500 by 36 payments, no interest. So why pay? Go ahead and do the installment deal. I'd rather have 36 pieces than one big one. You know, you set it up on auto pay, and I'm looking for my calculator. So 1,600. There you go. 44.44. So for $44 a month, you got yourself an iPhone 14 on a 3-year installment plan, no interest charge. They don't have any connectivity charges. They waive all that stuff, and they make a few bucks on the phone, but Apple doesn't discount anything. So Friday, the iPhone 14 phones were flying off flying. The internet was just like red hot. And of course, Jimmy was right there. It started 8 o'clock Eastern time uh, earlier in the week, like Monday, I guess, or Tuesday. So on Tuesday, you could, you had to get, you had to be ready with your fingers. So what I do instead of going to the Apple site, I go to the AT&T site, and then everyone doesn't jump to AT&T. Uh, and AT&T has got a great. See if I can get it here and show you something. AT&T, without divulging all my private stuff. Let's log in. Okay, so log into AT&T. I mean, all the passwords and stuff are kind of like saved, so I don't have to worry about thinking. I don't like to have to think. Listen to that groan. Trying to get the microphone a little closer. Ah, here we go. Find in my phone number. Bingo. And it flashes and all stuff. The AT&T site has not, I don't know what kind of system they got going on here, but it's redirecting. Oh my God. I used to get bombed off because my browser says there's too many redirectings. We're going to have to turn you off. Hey, look at this. So good news. We got your pre-order. So this is um, Apple Watch Series 8. And this time I'm switching to the silver mode because I found my silver bracelet and we will connect right on here. So instead of having, oh, here, this is now charged. So this black, which is black is beautiful, but there we go. That's my Mickey Mouse screen. You see Mickey Mouse? This foot's going up and down. Sophisticated chemical engineer. What am I doing? I got Mickey Mouse on my watch. That's what happens when you get old and senile. You just, you don't give a crap what anyone thinks. Alrighty. So there you go. So, these. So the magic to the way this Apple Watch works is this is the data line. Each device, has its own like phone number, and this data line is then merged with your phone. So that now you can make and receive answer calls from your watch, which is marvelous. You would not know you're talking on your watch when you're talking to somebody and you answer it on your watch, which I've had to do often. Instead of running to the phone, just answer on the watch. And you don't have to do this. You can just leave your arm down this way, and it picks up your voice like crazy. And now, I'm into getting all the new Apple Watches because, the 700-hour charge for the watch. I get the stainless steel one. You can get the aluminum one for, you know, 300 or 400, but, you know, with the amount of money that I spend on medicals and pills and all that kind of stuff, this sucker saved my fanny when um, when my heart rate went to 150 beats per minute and my blood pressure went to 200. So that was not good. So, but it was my watch that was buzzing that alerted me, and I looked at that and I said, "Holy crap, I got a problem." So I went and grabbed my blood pressure thing and put it in my arm, and I said, "Oh shit!" It's like, oh lordy, it's like 200 over 150. So Marilyn was out on the patio, talking on the phone with her sister. So I banged on the glass. I said, "Marilyn, we're going to the hospital right now." Bam. And Marilyn just, I had my little baggie all ready. I figured, I'm not getting out of here anytime soon. I'm like, so I had all my chargers and my Apple Watch and uh, my iPhone and a couple iPads, and I was mobile, agile, and hostile. And whoosh, got in the car, and I leaned over with a little bit of pain in my chest, not serious. I was having a little heart attack, but it wasn't roll over on the floor kind of heart attack. It was just, something that wasn't right going on in there, and I didn't want to strain because I didn't want the thing to stop running. So we got ourselves to the hospital, and they did, they took my blood and measured it, and they said, "Yeah, Mr. Wilson, you got the enzyme in your blood that says you've had a heart attack." I said, "Yeah, I know." So I'm laying down on the what you call it, and they gave me some a heparin drip, and a drip of nitroglycerin, which which tends to dilate dilates all your arteries and veins. The nitroglycerin drip dilates all your arteries and veins so that the heart doesn't have to work so hard to get the blood moving around, which is sounds like a good idea to me. And yeah, they, and then the next morning, Dr. Ordonez, my cardiologist, supreme, marvelous fellow, can't get enough of Ordonez. He is one fine cardiologist. He is what is known as the doctor's doctor. And most of our specialists are doctor's doctor, which means when a doctor gets sick, and that's a heart related issue, they call Ordonez. So that tells you something, right? Because the medical community, they kind of know who's who. So Ordonez, half, maybe, I don't know, a large percentage of his practice, as they call it, are medical doctors that need cardiology care, cardiac care. So, no, I'm not a doctor, but he takes, regular people. So I figure if he's good enough for the doctors, that's where I go. So we've made it a campaign issue that whoever our specialists are, we want to know that they are doctors. And there we go. This is my Shure. That puppy is. This thing was designed in 1955. I was 10 years old when they first came out with this microphone, and Elvis Presley sang with it, and all kinds of. It's not a very expensive thing from Shure, SCHURE, who manufactures this puppy. I have the 1955 copyright instruction booklet for this little devil. Anyway, it's all, the paper is all turned kind of brown, like old. Didn't have coffee stains on it, but, it could. Anyway, so I good news. We got your pre-order. What's it say? And it should ship by Friday the 14th. Well, marvelous. So that's the plan. So same thing, $23 a month, no interest. I get an Apple Watch. And anything new coming up on here? These are all my family. Very close. There's Judy G. And Lyle. Judy G is a retired FBI person. So let's see, unknown senders 4. So I go here, I hit messages, I clean up those. Delete, you betcha. Get rid of those suckers. I don't need that. Yeah, this is an interesting version of, what do you call it? It's what they call royalty-free background music that, you can play in the background when you're doing, things like what I'm doing here. So, okay, 9 to 5. These guys are unexpected error. So this is tested no matter anything. So they have cases. So I I like the silicone. The leather cases, they get worn out, they get shiny, they get slippery. The silicone, has it never gets slippery. It gives you some protection. You can't throw it around. All right, watch this. Yep, that's my sneaky little scaredy cat. So all I gotta do is touch it, and it wakes up the phone, and his eyes get bright. I got lucky with that. The phone, I didn't know the phone worked that way, but it does. And, if you got a picture of your cat, if you have a cat or a dog or something, some kind of animal, and yeah, you can fill the screen with its face. Uh, Comes in very handy for a paragraph. See, there's just touch it. It makes now I can go. Uh, you can have different backgrounds. Oh, this is photo. Oops. Okay, the App Store. So, politics-wise, there's not too much going on. You got Trump at a rally Saturday, which was very exciting. You can go to Newsmax, and they may have a place where you can see it. It was held in Youngstown, Ohio. Boy, I tell you what, he jumps right into the heart of the beast. The one thing about Trump, he is not a coward. He goes right into the beast, the belly of the beast. And, he tells people he's going to be there. And guess what? There's 30,000 people. I mean, 30,000. It's unbelievable. And they're all the people that can't get inside the arena, whatever the arena is. There's 20,000 more on the outside. Trump paid $1 million a piece for these huge outdoor screens, which he sets up so that people that are out there, they can see and hear. I mean, he's got a sound system. I mean, all very high grade commercial stuff. The guy's a billionaire, multi billionaire. So he's got some money invested in some equipment, and semi tractor trailers, that can cart around all his stuff. And he was in Youngstown, Ohio, right in the middle of the Iron Belt. Um, there's another famous person that was in Youngstown, Ohio that I knew very well, knew knew better than many people knew, which was Edward J. DeBartolo Sr., uh, not to be confused with Junior, who is still alive, his son. Um, but right about the time when I was doing some financing for Mr. DeBartolo, who was a nice gentleman, I met him in Tampa, and we met at Club Malio's. Malio Alvarone. He owns he owns a nightclub, you know, south of oh boy, uh, on Dale Maybury Highway south. You have to drive into the the tip of Tampa, which goes down into a tip, and then it's almost like a little peninsula, and there's water. So a lot of waterfront homes. Anyway, you go down the road, you're just south of the city, and Club Mario over on the left-hand side of the road, the east side of the road. And we used to hang out there because when Marilyn and I moved to Tampa, we it took us a while to find a house. And is the interest rates were like the mortgage rates were 14%. Can you imagine how spoiled these kids are now? 14%. Now my bank, you know, uh, gave me a deal that was two-thirds of the current rate. So it was like 14 and a half. I got the loan for like eight. Well, eight sounds a whole lot better than 14, but still, eight is a big number. It's twice what it is today. And that was a special discount for senior officer people in Southeast Bank. Oh, Lordy. So anyway, we took us a while to find a house. We found a house, and we made offers on some houses. 100%. We didn't discount it a nickel, but we said, you know what, we want you to plant, a row of hedges, cocoa plum hedges along the back, just to give us some protection from the neighbor, behind us. Guy says, nope. That was that. Plant your own goddamn hedge. I mean, it couldn't have been like, an $800 request. I'm in the banking business, so I know what the prices are. It was not. It wasn't like I asked them to put another, story on the house. Like we want a three-story house instead of a two-story. You put that on, and we'll buy the house. That's not a fair request. But to plant a couple of bushes in the back, the guy said, no. They tore up the contract and sent it back to our realtor. Said, no, pay the price or go away. Yeah, jeez. And I had the loan put to bed. That was already in my back pocket. And I had the down payment money because I got it from the place that I moved out of in Miami. Hey, it was complicated, but uh, tedious. It wasn't complicated from the standpoint of not being able to do it or know how to do it. It was just a lot of tedious stuff. Anyway, so we finally found a house in North Dale Mabry, Carrollwood Village, which was, kind of an established bedroom community about 8 miles north of the city of Tampa. So, Marilyn and I are all by ourselves, no kids. I had two kids living in Virginia, but we didn't have any kids of our own yet. So, in a sense, we're kind of like empty nesters for 5 or 6 years. So we traveled all over the place, and we get all that stuff out of the way. So whenever Marilyn decided she wanted to have a kid or two, we got all that stuff out of our system. It was really nice thing to do. And of course, and Marilyn got along really nicely with Lee and Robin, who were marvelous young people at the time. They were like uh, 7 and 11, 8 and 11 when Steele decided to fool around with the history teacher. Only in America, right? I'm the teacher, she's the teacher, and she's fooling around with the history teacher. Oh, brother. So, that's the way it is. I guess married life wasn't interesting enough, so she decided to now fool around with the history teacher. And the story on how I found out. This is going to be the Cliff Notes version of this story. And so, anyway, so we, uh, Steele, that's the name of my former wife of 50 years ago, whatever, she taught at the Boca Raton Academy, a very upscale, you know, it's now Pinecrest. And anyone that knows, the local what you call it, Pinecrest only takes students that are from parents that are very uppity. And that doesn't mean necessarily that they're fancy schmancy. They just need to have a very well established wallet. So, I have two bands around my wallet to keep that sucker shut. Oh my God. It was, oh shit. I mean, this is like, oh, I mean, Robin is 50 or 48 now. Okay. Well, she was 8. So that's 40 years ago. How about that for the math? Well, it cost $8,000, $8,500 for her to go to Boca Raton Academy. 2 kids? All right, 8,500 times 2. There's no volume rebate with that. 8,500 bucks, and that's the student teacher rate, meaning that if you're teaching there, instead of 10,000, it was 8,500. I felt like I got a bargain. Well, 8,500 times 2 is 17,000 per year 40 years ago. God knows what they charge today. But I mean, they got fancy guards and gates and electrified this. Well, you know what? For $40,000 a year per student, it's got to be, something like that. Jeez. Anyway, so it's student teacher night, all right? This is 43 years ago. So Steele had to be there a little early because she had to set up her classroom and all that stuff. I wasn't teaching there. I was got out of teaching. I was a banker at that point. So so we so I rode. We rode together, and I get out of the car and go to room 107 or something or other. It was Robin. It was Robin's homeroom classroom. So the parents, they had it so all parents would go to the homeroom class, then all parents would get up and move, and they go to the next classroom with science, and the next one was math and whatever. But anyway, so I'm sitting. So just have a seat, sir, anywhere you want. So I sat down 3 rows back, right in the middle of the classroom. So I have a nice view of what's going on and who's around me. So I'm just sitting there, look at, they I don't even know if they had cell phones at that point. Um, anyway, so unless you brought a book or something to do. Anyway, so I opened up the desk. I had one of these open up like this. So I open up the desk, and, to get, and oh, there's the book. So I take the book, put this thing back down, look at that. I open up the book, and looking through, it's a biology book. So I'm going through, I used to teach biology, so and I had a biology minor, and I understood the birds and the bees, pretty well because I'm a pre-med student. So I'm looking through the book, and all of a sudden the pages kind of flop open to where there's this a little note. So I think, oh, great! Let's read this note from one student to another. So I'm getting right into the spirit of being in 3rd grade or whatever it was. So I open up the note, and it says something like, "Did you notice Mrs. Wilson hugging the history teacher through the window of the teacher's lounge?" And I go, "Oh shit!" So I put that note in my pocket. I figured I'm going to take this as a souvenir because this is what they say: a peek is worth 1,000 finesses. So I just got a hint for the first time in my life that Steele was, she must have been doing something with a history teacher if they're having huggy wuggy bears, during their break time. Geez, oh boy. So there was trouble in the Wilson household. So the trouble was brewing, and I kept on taking notes. So this is like September, like August, September, when they had the teacher night. So September, October, November. So November, December, you got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving. So this all kind of boiled up. We had a Christmas New Year's party at the Wilson household, uh, which was we had 4 people. We had Lee and Robin. They were like 8 and 10. They're 8 and 11. And 3 years between them. And myself and Steele. I invited some of my banker friends. She invited some of her friends from Boca Raton Academy, and we got like a party with about 30 people. That's a guess, but it wasn't a huge house, so 30, 35 people is really all you could really stuff in the living room, dining room, patio, outdoor. It's a nice 3-3-2 or 3-3. Very traditional, you know, 2,000 square foot house, 2-car garage. So anyway, so we had this party, and I'm walking around, and it's around 11 o'clock at night, and we had like a step down. So I was, and the step went all the way to the front door, and the step we had like a sunken living room kind of thing. So you had to step down into the living room, just one step, but it was enough to be able to sit on. So I'm walking around picking up glasses and stuff. And it's 11 o'clock and people are starting to go home. So I see this little lady sitting on one of the steps, on the step, big long step. And I said, well, you don't seem to be very happy. She said, well, I'm not really happy. I said, all right. Why are you not happy? I'm not happy because you see that over there. And I said, you mean those two, they're dancing real tight? They're all clumped together? Yeah. He said, well, that's Mrs. Wilson. I said, oh yeah, that's my wife. Well, the guy is my husband and I'm not happy. I figured, does he teach history? She said, yeah. I said, okay. I felt like Inspector Clouseau. Got that question right. I said, yeah, that's the problem. I'll go tap him on the shoulder and kind of break that up, okay? And kind of tell Steele, you need to cool it for the rest of this party because his wife is not happy and she's over there sitting all by herself on this. I was busy cleaning up. She's not cleaning up. She's sobbing because you're in a bear lock with the history teacher. I forget his name. I think it was Mark something. Anyway, oh boy. So, as I say, so it all boiled up. And, before New Year's and after Christmas, or sometime around in that period of time, Steele and I it may have been that night, we had a serious conversation. And serious conversation ended up the next morning where she says, well, apparently we're not going to be living together anymore. I said, okay, that sounds about right. Where am I going or where are you going? She said, well, we're going to Virginia. You're not included. I said, okay, you're taking Lee and Robin with you, and it's a party of 3 going to Virginia somewhere. She said, yes, my brother has got a truck. He's going to be down here, and we're backing up the truck, and we're going to be gone. I said, okay. So whatever day that was, I gave the children a hug and hug and a kiss, and that was, they were gone. I had my lawyer drop my papers. This is 45 years ago, so it was a little less complicated to get a divorce than it is today. You got to go before the magistrate, and you got to go through, training to see if you really should be divorced. Yeah, no, I got to go through all kinds of crap now, but and the result is exactly the same. You know. So anyway, that was the end of steel, and oh god. Oh, anyway, that was a 9-minute little. Now you know how Jimmy got divorced 45 years ago. But after that, who do I bump into? I bump into someone called Marilyn Murray, and oh my God, she was, she was such a, I'm going back 45. She was model spectacular. I mean, if I could find a picture of her, I'd show it to you on the screen. Let's see if I can get all the way up, get to the top, because I saved this photo a million times. I took this photo in a department store. I mean, just so you can see. You see, there's Jimmy and Marilyn. Let me turn the brightness down a little bit so it doesn't burn out. There you go. Now we're not burnt out. All right, let me shrink that down, and let me see if I can find. We're getting close to showing this picture. Oh, there's another. That's Marilyn and Robin, our daughter. Look at that. I mean, she worked in Capitol Hill. She's spectacular too. I mean, these two. I walk around with these two, and they figure, who's the schmuck walking around with these two girls? Oh my God! You wouldn't believe the abuse I got. Oh crap! Come on, baby. Where's that picture? So good. You're gonna love it. It's worth it. Maybe do favorites. Yeah, go all the way. I'm trying to grab this whole thing to go to the top. There we go. All right. We took we took some amazing pictures. Just stopping along the way. Look at that. How about that? You think we know how to take pictures? Holy crap! These guys are going, 400 knots at each other. Bam! You got to snap that sucker right at the proper moment. Well, we did. Uh, Here, this Maryland took this one. Look at that shot. This is the 2007 Air and Sea Show. Now that was taken. There she is with her trusty 100 to 400 zoom Canon. See the red lens with the red ring. That means it's a professional quality lens. That just tells the bad guys steal that lens because it's at least $4,000 or some crazy number. And the lenses they don't give them away. All right, I'm trying to find this picture of still when she was 28 years old or 30, probably 30. Oof. Oh, here's the four of us. That's Jimmy. There's the schmuck on the side. And there's Marilyn, Robin, and Lee. They look pretty sharp. I look like Mr. Schlemiel. Here's my two-headed cat. All right, get serious. Oh, here it is. Oh, Jesus. Wait a see this picture. Now, is that unbelievable? I mean, that's the cover of any of, you know, you know, 20 magazines. Where to go? That's it right there. That's one of my favorite little, just we're in a something dress for less. Yeah, we're at a discount clothing store. So I rather just stop for a minute. Bam, snapped his shot. It wasn't set up. It was just she just had her little purse and matching silver belt and this outfit. There she is again. And she's just standing there with her friend, Betty Crenshaw and Marilyn. They were in a Ross dress for less because Crenshaw, that's his back, he is trying to talk to the store manager to find out what they were paying for rent. And of course, they didn't tell him. But look at that. There's a picture of a crane in a building, an apartment building next behind us. So the scenes behind me were just like unbelievable. All kinds of weather, weather scenery. Let's see what we got here. All right, here's the building. Oh, show and tell here. Oh, let's pull this down. I can hit I. All right. There we go. December 18th, 2013. We just moved in the building. How about that? This is at 9:43 a.m. Is that like nuts or what? And this gives you a map of exactly where it is. We can expand that map, but we're not going to. But here's the we live uh, we live in that unit right there, not the very top one, the one right in there. And these are big patios, the biggest patios in the building. There's three of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 of them in the building. We have one of them. The main, let's see, yeah, this right here. This is the entry to the building. See the portico thing that comes out and goes down. You got some Xfinity is probably connecting us up. Because we just moved in there. Here's this the palm tree. Palm trees. It's really very beautiful look. This is 9:43 a.m. The exit data gave it away. There we are, and here's other buildings. The Artstone, the Via Meisner, and the Camden. Camden was that one across the street that isn't there yet. At least it wasn't there yet. Okay, what else we got here? Oops. So here's Robin. This is Jimmy. This is 2014. We are in Phoenix, Arizona, and this is Dr. What you call it? The blood spatter expert. He gave me a pin right here. That's Dr. Henry Lee. See, this is Dr. Henry Lee. It's a gold pin he gave me. I put it on my card because I didn't want to lose it. But whenever I go to some kind of conference that has to do with collecting evidence, or because Robin's in that business, so I'm always going to these things with her. So I put that on my sport coat. So there's Jimmy, Robin, and Dr. Henry Lee. And what a sport he was. Whoops. I don't know why that flipped over, but there's some magnetic stuff in the bottom there. All right, so we're going to just put that back up there. This is what I have. That's the site I have on my website. Picture I have on my website too. It says call here. This is the camera that I used. It takes a Canon lens, scanning camera, a thing that fit on the back of the camera so you could, with a mic. I had all the toys. That was 2014. This is a nice shot. So this is a book I wrote. How about that? Called Principles of Digital Photography and Post-Image Processing. There's my name down the bottom. There you go. Computer Laboratory Manual. You betcha. And there's a newspaper thing. See, FAU Digital Photo Class helps a novice take a perfect pic. So there's me teaching these. This is my son Daniel. He took the class like 4 times just to keep Marilyn company because Marilyn took the class 4 times, 3 times, whatever. Look at this crazy old computer stuff, back in the day. So see, there's Jimmy, white shirt and a tie on, you know, no open collar stuff for Jimmy. No way. Nice article. Students Daniel Wilson and Matthew Horwath also enjoying learning new techniques. They that was their happy face. All righty. Anyway, so that was fun. We got news. Here's another article. Bingo. I'll do that one. Oh, there's 3 articles. Boca professor teaches FAU digital photography. Here's see, this is March 2006. Look at that! Look at that lens. That's a lens that's actively used today for sports. There was a 300 millimeter f2.8 lens, image stabilization. That puppy cost in 2006. It cost $12,000, $1,199. But I was teaching at a camera store. Excuse me, I was a salesperson at a camera store. And Canon, their deal was with any employees that were in the camera business, half off. So it was 6,000 instead of 12,000. It's still a huge amount of money, for a schmuck that's in a camera store. So I figured, okay, I'll buy it. That price, I'll never get it any better. Here's another article. Here's the lens. This is Marilyn's lens. It's a 100 to 400 zoom. This is the guy. He looks like he's 9 feet tall, or I look like I'm 3 foot, not so tall. He's up on a curb, and I'm not. The photographer didn't set that up right, so I look like a midget. But anyway, that's the way it goes. 2006, 2000. Yeah, so I was in the news. Oh, look at this. I even got, they used, that's me behind that big lens. Picture a new skill, professional learning. Yep, see, page 31. You click on that and you go to that page. Anyway, that's me behind the camera, behind the lens. That was just a little extra. All right, so there's the book cover. And that's the back of the book. See here, Pearson Education. That's big deal. That is the largest educational publisher. It wasn't like the Okefenokee Press. This is the best custom printing enterprise in the United States. ISBN number. I mean, it was, publishing a book. So they can scan that, and I had a picture thing with Marilyn in it. I said, "You want to be on the back cover?" She said, she wasn't really too excited. So I put the dog on there, but she wasn't really excited. I should have put her on there because we had a lot of those books out, in the school. So here's my letter, October 2003. Dear Jim, your request for adjunct faculty status with the Department of and the Charles E. Smith College of Science at Florida Atlantic University came to a vote during our department's September meeting. I'm pleased to inform you that the department voted unanimously to instate you as adjunct faculty. How about that? And there's a little reason code on how come it was unanimous. I met a couple of the people I mean, I knew this was happening. He goes, the week before, so here's the, I mean, this is, this is important stuff. I happen to know somebody in the school, and he was a well-known character in FAU, circles in the College of Science. So that's, so let's go to, let's take this off. I can grab this. There we go. I want to show you. I got a picture of me. I guess it isn't going to work. Favorites. Yeah. Let's just do recent. I'm trying to find a picture of. Oof. Because I did like a screenshot of this myself and Russ Ivy, who's in charge, who's the dean of the entire College of Science. We're like buddies, because I got keys to the room. They don't give out keys very often, but I had a key in my room. And I taught at night. So when they were all done with their day classes, anyway, I was trying to show a picture of Russ Ivy, but it ain't going to happen. It's somewhere here. It's very obvious. We've probably, we're an hour and 3 minutes. Okay, so we're kind of done. I don't like to stay on more than an hour. That's my two-headed cat. Come on, Russ Ivy, where are you? There's my. All right, so I can't find it. So I'll find it next time. Russ Ivy, good man. He was in charge of a department, and now he's dean of the entire College of Science. So the hierarchy, all this stuff is it's hard to crack into as just a guy coming off the street. See, you got to know somebody. So I got lucky, and John Harlan, was a fancy schmancy teacher in the College of Science. He said, "Oh, Jimmy, you want to teach here? Not a problem." This guy's sitting next to me, in a restaurant. And I said, "How was that?" So he said, "Yeah, come on in at 3 o'clock. I'll teach you. I'll introduce you to Russ Ivy, and we'll get you. What do you want to teach?" Only in America. That is great. So that is my complicated story. It's not like I was some kind of genius that had connections with the university. No, I met a guy next to in a restaurant. Yeah, come on in. I'll introduce you to the dean of the. Usually, you have to kiss their feet. And, oh my God. I mean, not really, but it's hard to crack into academia, just as a regular schmuck on the street. It's a banker that came up with a good idea and wrote a book about it. And anyway, so we've been chatting here for an hour and 5 minutes. So I'm going to put this down, and we're going to shut this puppy down and turn up the music and turn off Jimmy. Have a nice whatever this is Monday. So we'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow. I promise we'll talk tomorrow. Can you believe how sensitive this mic is? Like crazy. You don't have to. I'm not this far away. And if you get any closer, you can hear your whiskers. You can hear your whiskers vibrating. All right, I'm done. We'll talk. We'll see you tomorrow.